So today there are many prayers, no? So I think I am chanting only, okay? No problem. No? So I can mute all. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वाद् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवत् गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णै चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। अकूहविसर्जनीयानां कण्ठः ईचूयशानां तालु ऋटूरषाणां मूर्धा ऋतुलसानां दन्त्याः उपद्मानीयानाम् औष्ठौ न्यमगणनानां नासिकाञ्च एदैतौ कण्ठतालु ओदौ तौ कण्ठोष्ठं वकारस्य दन्तोष्ठम् जिह्वामूलीयस्य जिह्वामूलं नासिका अनुस्वारस्य ऐ उन् ऋ एओङ् ऐ औच् हयवरट् लण् यमगणनं झभञ्ज् घढधश जबगडदश खफ छठ थ चटतौ कपै शशसर् हल् इति माहेश्वराणि सूत्राणि सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोऽस्तुते। रोगानशेषानपहंसि तुष्टा रुष्टा तु कामान् सकलानभीष्टान् त्वामाश्रितान्नान्न विपन्नराणां त्वामाश्रिताः यश्रयतां प्रयान्ति सर्वा बाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरी एवमेव त्वया कार्यम् अस्मद्वैरिविनाशनं सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोऽस्तुते। रोगानशेषानपहंसि तुष्टा रुष्टा तु कामान् सकलानभीष्टान् त्वामाश्रितान्नान्न विपन्नराणां त्वामाश्रिताः यश्रयतां प्रयान्ति सर्वा बाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरी एवमेव त्वया कार्यम् अस्मद्वैरिविनाशनं सर्वस्वरूपे सर्वेशे सर्वशक्तिसमन्विते भयेभ्यस्त्राहि नो देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोऽस्तुते। रोगानशेषानपहंसि तुष्टा रुष्टा तु कामान् सकलानभीष्टान् त्वामाश्रितान्नान्न विपन्नराणां त्वामाश्रिताः यश्रयतां प्रयान्ति सर्वा बाधा प्रशमनं त्रैलोक्यस्याखिलेश्वरी एवमेव त्वया कार्यम् अस्मद्वैरिविनाशनम्। Today, I would like to give you the bird eye view of Prasthanatraya. Traditionally, it says in our, in this teaching parampara, teaching tradition, if you are really mumukshu or jignasu, so one should study Prasthantrayi. So what is the Prasthantrayi? And to understand Prasthantrayi, what are the another anga we have to study? So today I have written, if we have done this long-term course, either in Rishikesh, Anaikatti, whatever, so they say you have to study Prasthantrayi. So what comes under Prasthantrayi? So I have written first is a Brahma Sutra. Trayi means three. Prasthan. Actually, the meaning of Prasthana means to take a start. So to understand that vision of Upanishad, so from where we have to start, what we have to study, they say Prasthan Trayi. So in Trayi means three. First one is called Brahma Sutra. Second one is called Upanishad. Third one is called Bhagavad Gita. And to understand this Brahma Sutra, Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita, one has to study Vyakaranam, means grammar of Sanskrit. And in previous time, Brahma Sutra, Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita was not available in the book form. So they have to chant everything. That's why chanting also considered as very important factor in this Prasthantrayi. So we will see one by one what is in Brahma Sutra, what is the vision of Upanishad, and what we are studying in Bhagavad Gita, and what is Vyakarana and Upanishad, that chanting. So Brahma Sutra is written by whom? If somebody asks, then Brahma Sutra is written by Bhagavan, Lord Vedavyasa. Vedavyasa and Shankaracharya ji, they are always, we call them as a Bhagavan. Bhagavat Shankarapad, Bhagavat Vedavyasa, because their vision, their understanding is as good as Ishwar. So Brahma Sutra is written by Vedavyasa, and Bhashyam of Brahma Sutra is written by Shankaracharya. Now somebody asks, what is Brahma Sutra? Before seeing this chart, let's see what is Brahma Sutra. So Brahma Sutra is considered as an analytical explanation of Upanishad, but with logic argument, tarka, 100% Shastra Anumata tarka. What is given in Shastra, Upanishad, along with that argument with logic, it's called Brahma Sutra. And if someone asks, what is the content? What Veda Vyasa has taken in Brahma Sutra? So generally, he has taken 10 Upanishad. 10 Upanishad in Brahma Sutra. And same that 10 Upanishad were taken by Shankaracharya ji to write Bhashyam on it. And what are the 10? We will see in Upanishad portion. So now we will see what is Brahma Sutra. People say always Brahma Sutra, Brahma Sutra. So what is Brahma Sutra? Still a little bit bigger, I think. So Brahma Sutra is divided in 4 chapters. Mainly, Brahma Sutra is divided in 4 chapters. It's called Prathama Adhyaya means first chapter. Dvitiya Adhyaya is called second, third and fourth. Then each and every chapter is again subdivided in 1, 2 and 4. First one is called Adhyaya, that division. And second division in Sanskritam they call as a Padam. First Adhyaya has 4 pada, 4 subdivision. It's called Padam. So Prathama Padaha, Dvitiya Padaha, Tritiya Padaha, and Chaturtha Padaha. in first chapter. Each and every 4 chapter, again they are divided in 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this in Prathama Pada, again is a subdivision, is called Adhikaranam. His name in Sanskritam is called Adhikaranam. So somebody asked, total how many subdivisions are available in first pada of first chapter? So they say 11. So 11, if say 1, 2, 3, up to 11. So each and every adhikaran has their own sutra. Sutra means very small sentence is called sutra. In brief aphorism, called sutra. So in Prathama Pada is a 11, in second Pada is a 7, Tritiya Pada is 13, Chaturtha Pada is 8. So if we total 18 plus 10, 28, 31 and 39. So in first is total 39 Adhikaranam. 39 Adhikaran, there are sutras and sutras. Same way in second, third and fourth. So total how many sutras are available in Brahma Sutra? So they say 555. Sutras are available in Brahma Sutra. If you start study each and every sutra, it will take, to complete this Brahma Sutra, it will take 4 hours, years. So in this long-term course, we study only 4 sutra. These are the 4 sutra. So this sutra are first chapter, Prathama Pada, and each Adhikarana has only one sutra. So suppose say Adhikarana means first, actually they say first chapter, first Pada, first Adhikarana, and first sutra. So Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Again, first chapter, first Pada, second Adhikarana has 1 sutra. Same way third, each and first 4 is Adhikarana has only one sutra. Well famous is starts from Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Second sutra is Janmadi Yasya Yataha. Janmadi Asya Yataha Shastra Yonitvat Tattu Samanvayat. In brief, if we see, so what is the meaning of Brahma Jigyasa? The meaning is Atha means after that. Having gained sadhana chatushtaya sampatti means the meaning of Ataha. Atha means now Brahma Jigyasa. One should do to know who is Brahman. Gyatum ichha, Brahman. One has to have the desire of to know Brahman. It's called Brahma Jigyasa. Then if somebody asks, what is Brahman? So for this is a second sutra. Janmadi asya yataha. Yataha means yasmat karanat jagataha janma. Jagataha adi means sustenance and jagataha result. So jagataha janma, srushti, sthiti, pralaya, because of whom that is called Brahma. This is the second sutra. And if somebody asks, from where you have got this name Brahman? So it says, his answer is third, Shastra Yonitva. Here Yoni means cause, Karanam. This Brahman, Karana, they have got from scriptures. Shastra is a Karana of this Brahman. And Tattu Samanvayat. All Upanishads, all mantra, even 108, 127, 1008, all mantras, they are equally says only one thing, here nothing but only Brahman. In Tattu, that vision, Samanvaya, there are all together, they announce only one thing, here nothing but only Brahman. This is called Chatussutri, only four. We have studied this means only. Only Paramarthananda ji has taken whole Brahma Sutra. Here, Swamiji has also taken whole Brahma Sutra, but generally they have studied this portion only, Chatussutri. So this is called Brahma Sutra. In Prasthanatrayi, this is the first part. Second part of Prasthanatrayi is called Upanishad. Each and every person has to study that Brahma Sutra was written by Veda Vyasa. If somebody asks who has written Upanishad, so answer is Apaurushaya. The meaning of Apaurushaya means it is not written by any human being. Purusha means human. Apaurushaya means which is not written by any human being. Only this all rishis consider as a seers of mantra, mantra drashtara. They have seen all mantras in their own meditation. They have shared this mantra with their students or with their colleagues. So same, these all mantras are come about. Is not written by anything. So Upanishad is not written by anyone. But Bhashyam of Upanishad was written by, again, Shankaracharya ji. If somebody asks, how much Upanishad, how many Upanishad was written? So it says, answer is 10 Upanishad. Shankaracharya has written only 10 Upanishad. And which were there, so which are discussed in Brahma Sutra. This main 10 Upanishad written by Shankaracharya ji. It says in the beginning, in early times, total Upanishad were available 1008. But Kala Parampara, when time passed, now it's available only 127. Nowadays, only 127 Upanishads are available. And among 27, Shankaracharya has written only 10. And what are the name of that Upanishad? So first we can take as a Aitareya Upanishad. Shankaracharya has written Ishavasya, Brihadaranyak, Kathopanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, and Prashna. So we know there are 4 Vedas: Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. Rigveda, Aitareya Upanishad. Yajurveda, we know there are 2 types of Yajurveda: Shukla Yajurveda, Krishna Yajurveda. In South, Krishna Yajurveda is famous, while in North they chant like Shukla Yajurveda. And suppose we say Purusha Suktam, but here in Shukla Yajurveda they say Purukha. They never say Shakara, they call it a Khakara, Purukha. Purukha Eveda Gum Sarva. Even Gum they never use. Purukha Evedam Sarva. So this is a different style of chanting. So in Shukla Yajurveda, Ishavasya Upanishad, and in Shukla Yajurveda, Brihadaranya Upanishad. While in Krishna Yajurveda, Kathopanishad, in Taittiriya Upanishad. Samaved, Kena Upanishad, and Chandogya. Rigved, consider it is they are in prose form. Gadya. While Yajurved, we can chant. While Samveda, we can sing. In Atharva Ved, they say, if you have noticed, generally in Gita also, they mention only 3 Vedas, not 4th one. In 9th chapter, Trayi Prapannaha, always 3 Vedas they mention. Why they are not mentioning 4th Veda, Atharva Ved? Reason is, in Atharva Ved, generally they have discussed medicines, so remedies for health of human being. So generally they never discuss yagas, yagnas. Generally only it based on medicines. That's why Atharva Veda they never mention. They always give importance to 3 Vedas. Rigved, Yajurved, Samved and Atharva. And what they would like to convey, Upanishad, what they would like to convey, so first we can see the vision of Upanishad. What is the vision of Upanishad? So generally, Upanishad discuss about 3 things. Jiva. Second one is Jagat, means this word. And third one is Ishvara. Jiva, we consider ourselves, Jiva is always with inferiority complex. Jiva is helpless. Jiva is always problematic. We think ourselves. While in Upanishad, they say Jiva is not separate from Ishvara. You are Ishvara, Tattvamasi. This is the message of Upanishad. Jagat. We always consider Jagat is a real. Whole Vyavahara in this Jagat we consider as a real only. While Upanishad says Jagat is not real. Then what is Jagat? The technical name of Jagat is Sat Asat Vyam Anirvachaniyam, is a mithya. Jagat is not real, but in Sanskritam is called mithya. If somebody still says, what is the definition of mithya? Answer is Adhara Ananyatvam. Anything which depends for its own existence on somebody else, that is called mithya. If pot is mithya, why we consider pot is mithya? Because for its own existence, pot is depend on clay. That's why pot is unreal. So Jagat is dependent for its existence on consciousness. That's why Jagat is not real, Jagat is mithya. Shastra says, Upanishad says, and this is the ultimate reason. This is the truth. And third, Ishvaraha. Generally, one who has not studied Ishvara, generally they say Ishvara is sitting somewhere up on the sky, in the sky somewhere, some place. Even our religion also, somebody says in Kailasa, somebody says in Venkutadama, different. But Shastra says Ishvara is everywhere. Ishavasedam Sarva. There are many. Everywhere is Ishvara. And again it says Ishvara is Abhinna Nimitta. It is the efficient cause and material cause of whole world is Ishvara only. There are always different. Efficient cause is different and material cause is different. In this Jagat, in this world, while Ishvara is both efficient cause and material cause. To teach this vision, and then last one, for Jiva, one always consider Jiva if something is missing in me, that is Tvam Purna. You are the whole. This is the message of Upanishad. How Upanishad can prove this vision? For that, it says Shastra teaches in 3 different methodology. to teach this vision, Shastra is a different type of method. The name of this method, one is called Karya Karana Prakriya. The meaning of Prakriya means method. First one is Karya Karana Prakriya. We will see little bit. Second one is called Avasthat Traya Prakriya. And third one is called Panchakosha Prakriya. A person who never has any type of connection with Vedanti, if we present a pot in front of this person, we ask, what is this? Generally, we get answer is, this is a pot. That means a ghatam also. I have written pot. Then we start ask question. This pot is not comes from space. Somebody has prepared, somebody has made. So it's made up out of what? Then we say is a clay. So clay is considered of karanam, cause and effect. But here I am written is a karan, is the cause of pot. So we have given clay, another name is karanam, is the cause. Then if clay is karanam, then what is the pot? We say is the effect. But the name of effect in Sanskritam is called karyam. If this method in this Upanishad is called Adhyaropa. The meaning of Adhyaropa in English we say superimposition. Nobody knows clay is a karanam. Nobody knows pot is the effect or karya. Vedanti has given. Particularly Chandogya Upanishad has given is a karan and karya. So this is called Adhyaropa. We superimpose karana and karya in clay and pot. Then what Puja Swamiji started? When we touch pot, to whom we touch? Pot or clay? The answer will we are touching only clay. Then Swamiji says, Puja Swamiji, if we keep our hand inside the pot and if we touch the bottom of the pot, to whom we touch? Pot or clay? Then again we will answer it is clay. Then Swamiji asked, the weight of pot is the weight of clay. When we are doing this, it's called we are doing apavada. We are negating. What we are negating? So we are negating pot. And pot is nothing but effect. This is called apavada. So by doing this, we have totally negate karya. And if karya is negated, then karana karya can possible only when karya is there. Relationship always depends on two things. So if we have negated karya, then this karanatvam of clay is also being negated. Then what will remain? So karya karan vilakshanam only. This is the methodology to teach everything is nothing, no karana, no karya, ishavasya vidam saram. This teaching method is called karya karan prakriya. It has been taught everywhere. In all Upanishads, generally they have taken this karya karan prakriya. In Taittiriya Upanishad, last Valli, Bhrigu, they have taken this. While in Taittiriya Upanishad, in second, means Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, that Valli, what is the name of this Valli? Anand Valli, Anand Mimamsa. What is the name? Anand Valli. In this Panchakosha methodology has been used. So they have given this body name 5. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Annamaya. Again, that still this Panchakosha also depend on Karya Karan only. They have given the name, this Panchakosha. Then we start negated. Atma cannot be Annamaya, Atma cannot be Pranamaya. So this is also first Adhyarop, we superimpose something on this and then we negate. It's called Panchakosha Prakriya. Again, only one will remain, that is Brahman. Another method and third method is giving in this Upanishad is Avasthatraya Prakriya. Three state, waking state, dream state and sleeping state. Sleep state is called Avastha state. In Mandukya, in Karikas, the Gaudapada Acharya's Karika, it's explained very beautifully. But Nanda Pragnanda Bahish Pragnam, this whole mantra is always Apavada of these three prakriyas. Atma is a consciousness, is a witness of all three: waking, dream state, and sleep state. So who is Atma? So because of consciousness, these three states can possible, but without states also, Atma is always remain as it is. This teaching is called Avasthatraya Prakriya. In this manner, this unfolding way, Upanishad reveals what is the real nature of Jiva, what is the real nature of Jagat, and what is real Ishvara. This is called the vision of Upanishad. It's the second part of Prasthantrayi. And now, third part of Prasthantrayi is Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, what is the meaning of Bhagavad Gita? Actually, it is a Bhagavataha Gitam 6/1. It is a song of Lord Ishvara. Bhagavataha Gitam, Bhagavad Gita. Again, somebody asks, Bhagavad Gita is written by whom? Same answer is Bhagavan Vedavyasa. And it belongs to Mahabharata. Bhashyam. Again, Shankaracharya is written on this. So we are seeing Bhagavad Gita, but yet we have not seen this portion. So I thought we should discuss this part. So Bhagavad Gita, we know there is a 18th chapter. So 18 chapters are divided in three parts. So first part is called Prathama Shataka. Second part is called Dvitiya Shataka. Third part is called Trutiya, third Shataka. Shataka means 1 to 6. 6. Group of 6 is called Shatakam. So Prathama Shataka means 1 to 6 chapters. Dvitiya Shataka means 7 to 12. And Trutiya Shataka means 13 to 18. In each 6 group, mainly Bhagwan has discussed 3 topics in each Shataka, main 3 topics. There may be some also, but mainly Bhagwan has discussed 3 topics. First topic among Prathama Shataka is Bhagwan has discussed Jiva Swarupa. The meaning is the nature of Jiva. Bhagwan has discussed in 1 to 6. And we have seen in 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, what is the real nature of Jiva. So particularly in 2nd chapter from 11th to 25th verse, Bhagwan has discussed our real nature is consciousness, and that is Nitya, is eternal, Aprameya. The meaning is it cannot be understood for 5 sense organs. Sat is ever exists, Nirvikara is not subject to any modification and it is all pervading. Sarva Vyapakam. Same Jiva Swarupam is again discussed in third chapter, last two verses. Indriyani Paranyahu Indriyebhya Paramana Manasastu Para Buddhi Buddhi Tastu Paraha. In that also Bhagavan has discussed our real nature is a consciousness. In fourth chapter we have seen Atma is a non-doer. Akarta, abhokta is a non-doer and at the same time it is not experiencer of anything. Akarta, abhokta. That we have seen in fourth chapter. In fifth chapter we have seen Navadvare Pure Dehi. That topic has started from there. Naiva Kurvanna Karaya. Consciousness never do anything inside of sitting inside this body. That it's called Jiva Swarupam. Is discussed in 1 to 6 chapter. Yeah. Second topic mainly is discussed in Prathama Shataka 1 to 6 is Karma Yoga Sadhana, which is very important. Sadhana, generally people think is only to sit in front of altar or Bhagavan or do some chanting. It's called sadhana, but Bhagavan says, if you do each and every karma, convert it in puja, it's called sadhana. If you convert each and every karma as an offering to Lord, is considered as a sadhana, and while performing any activity, when you receive any result of karma, is a prasadam, is a gift of Lord, that is called sadhana. In such sadhana, will give a result is called samatvam. Samatvam yoga uchyate. The balance of mind is called samatvam. Is mainly discussed in first to sixth chapter. Even in third chapter also Bhagavan has discussed, even in fourth chapter, fifth chapter, this karma yoga. In third main topic Bhagavan has discussed in Bhagavad Gita, first to sixth chapter is self-effort. A person by only just putting hand on our head, we cannot have a self-knowledge. But Atma Krupa, we have to put a self-effort. We have to take our free will to know who is Ishvara. So Uddared Atmanatmanam Natmanam Avasadayet Atme Bhai Atmano Bandhu Atme Vripuratmana. All are in sixth chapter what we have seen is self-confidence, self-effort. But one name is Atma Krupa. We have to put effort for oneself. Atma Krupa. That mainly discussed in first to sixth chapter. So what have been discussed in middle? Dvitiya Shatak, sometimes it's called Madhyama Shataka also, but I always say Dvitiya. Some used to say the Madhyama means middle. So it's from 6 to 12, or sorry, 7 to 12. So mainly, which topic have been discussed? So in first one was Jiva Swarupa. In second one, Bhagavan has discussed Ishvara Swarupa, the nature of Ishvara. And it's discussed in seventh chapter, Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti. That next chapter we will see glory of Ishvara. In 10th chapter, even 11th chapter, Bhagavan has discussed the glory of one's own. In even function also, Bhagavan, somebody asked, Arjuna has asked, who are you? So Bhagavan says, Kalosmi. So Bhagavan has also discussed what Bhagavan is doing. In 9th chapter also, Bhagavan is saying, Yoga Kshemam Vahamiham. This all are what Bhagavan does for ourselves. So generally, in Madhyama Shataka or Dvitiya Shataka, Bhagavan has discussed one's own nature, one's own function, and one's own glory. It's one first topic of Madhyama Shataka. Second topic, Bhagavan has discussed in Madhyama Shataka is, in first, Bhagavan has given emphasis on Karma Yoga Sadhana, but in second, Madhyama Shataka, Bhagavan has given emphasis on Upasana. In 9th chapter, Bhagavan has given the glimpse of Upasana. The meaning of Upasana means to chant a name of Ishvara in mind is called Upasana or Dhyana. Bhagavan has discussed in Madhyama Shataka. In third important topic is discussed in Madhyama Shataka was, we have seen self-effort in first Shataka. In Bhagavan says, Ishvara Krupa also is very grace of Lord. Only one's effort is not good enough. Bhagavan's grace is very much important. To know Ishvara also, to know who am I also. So Bhagavan's grace is also very much necessary in one's own life. So these three topic mainly, everything I say mainly, Bhagavan has also discussed some else also, but these are the main topics Bhagavan has discussed in Madhyama Shataka. In last Shataka, Bhagavan has discussed mainly thing is Aikyam, oneness between Jiva and Ishvara. And in 13th chapter, third shloka, I think, Kshetragnam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Sarva kshetresu. Kshetra means among all bodies. Right on from virus up to Brahmaji is called kshetra. Among all body, kshetragnam. I am the kshetragnaha. Mam viddhi. This is mam means you have to know this is me among all. This is called Mahavakya of Bhagavad Gita. Because among all body, only one Ishvara is sitting. It's called Mahavakya. So it's called Aikyam, oneness between, here Jiva is discussed, here Ishvara is discussed, in last one is Bhagavan has discussed Aikyam. This is the main thing Bhagavan has discussed. And after that, Bhagavan has discussed how can one become adhikari to understand this oneness between Jiva and Ishvara. So main thing is Sadguna, good values. Bhagavan has discussed second topic of last Shataka. Amanitvam, Adampitvam, Ahimsa, Kshanti, Rarjavam. It is discussed in 13th chapter. It's totally 20 values according to Pujya Swamiji. And even 16th chapter, Abhayam Sattva Shuddhi, Gnana Yoga Vyavasthita. First 3 verses of 16th chapter, Bhagavan has discussed different type of values. If we cultivate these values in oneself, then that person considered as a sadhana chatushraya sampanna. It will come automatically. So Bhagavan has discussed Sadgunaha. Is a second main topic. In last topic, Bhagavan has discussed about gunas, Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. In 14th chapter, Bhagavan has discussed the nature of all 3 gunas. In 17th chapter, Bhagavan has discussed Shraddha, 3 gunas, Danam, food, Puja, Prarthana, Tapas, all are 3 gunas. Bhagavan has discussed in 17th chapter. In 18th chapter, Bhagavan has discussed all type of karma, even Dhairyam. I think Bhagavan has discussed even Tyaga, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. There are many. I think even 9 to 10 different Bhagwan had discussed. Tyaga is also Sattva Rajas Tamas. Dhairya, perseverance also 3 types. Different, all Bhagwan has discussed in Sattva Rajas Tamas. So this is comes in Gita, Bhagavad Gita. So Prasthanatrayi, Brahma Sutra, Upanishad, and this Bhagavad Gita. But to understand this all Prasthantrayi, it says one has to be before that. It's considered one has to go through this all 6 limbs, Shadangani, auxiliary. One has to study Shiksha, Kalpa, Chandas, Niruktam, Vyakaranam, Jyotisham. It comes in Mundaka if you have gone through. Shiksha we will see. Kalpa means how to do each and every rituals. This separate is a book, voluminous book is called Kalpa. Chandas means a different type of meter. How is discussed in Chandas. Niruktam means etymology. Is called Niruktam. Jyotisham means when we can start a good some new initiation. If you would like to start, then Jyotisham means we have to see where is the nakshatra, which is the big good time, is called Jyotisham. But here it is not important for us. Na Jyotisham, na Niruktam, but for important for us is only 2 things. Shiksha and Vyakaranam. If we can study this, all 2 will be helpful to understand Prasthantrayi. Here the meaning of Shiksha is called chanting. Shiksha is not to give some punishment, but here the Shiksha is a technical name. And where this Shiksha Bhagwan has discussed, so in Taittiriya Upanishad, first is called Shikshavali. It's called Shiksham Vyakhyasyaamaha Varnaswaraha Matra Balam Samasantanaha Ityukta Shikshadhyayaha. Varnaswara in Taittiriya Upanishad first. So Bhagwan says in Taittiriya Upanishad that Guru says, now I will go to teach you Shiksha means chanting. So total 1, 2 and 3 factors we have to consider while chanting. First is called Swara, that Udata Anudata. Swara, this Varnaha is Swaraha. While chanting we have to be careful. Swara. Matra Balam. We have to know total 1 matra is there, 2 matra is there. According to then we have to elongate, we have to lengthen our voice. Matra Balam. It's called second factor we have to be careful while chanting. And third one is called Samasantana. While chanting, our speed should not be too very speedy. At the same time, while chanting, we should not be too slow. Our chanting speed should be medium. It's called Santana. Samasantana. This is called Shikshadhyaya. This is the way to chant different type of mantras. Then once we have studied little bit, but this is called Shiksha. Because previous time there is no book, no laptop, nothing. They have to by heart all mantras through chanting only. That's why and nowadays also, if we know by heart, then will be more, for us is very easy to understand. This Shiksha. Last one is called Vyakaranam. In Vyakaranam also, there are 2 types of Vyakaranam. One, what we are studying right now, simple, Eton, Bhandarkar, whatever we say. And another style of Vyakaranam is Panini style. Whatever way, we can study. It's not necessary to study Panini. We can also study simple way. But in Vyakaranam, what we have to study. So it says only this much we have to study. In grammar, we have to study 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. In Vyakaranam, there are total 10 conjugations. Sandhi, vowel sandhi, visarga sandhi, consonant sandhi, three sandhi, passive voice we have to study. Participles, what we are studying right now, participles. Noun declension, Ramaha, Rama, Ramaha, that all declension that we have to study. If we go a little bit advanced, then Samasa, we will study, is very good. Samasa. And if we know everything, no, then last one, we should know how to make Anvaya of each and every Gita shloka and whatever. Then we not to need any teacher to understand either Gita shloka or Upanishad. That's why we are studying grammar. Generally, people study grammar because they love it. But here we study grammar, not we love, but it is helpful to understand to reason of Upanishad or Gita. So this all we have to study to understand only who am I. It will be helpful to understand Brahma Sutra, Gita and Upanishad. So this is the glimpse, this is the bird eye view of Prasthanatraya. How much we have to study depends on us. But this is the view. Anybody would like to ask anything regarding this?
Shall I ask?
It's really amazing, Swamiji. And we studied only like 4 conjugations, right? Like 1, 4, 6.
Yeah.
So that's all, or do we need to?
We have to study actually 6 also more, but it's we will see later. But it's not necessary. If we study 4, is good enough. Slowly, because little bit is a tricky, little bit hard also. That's why we have not studied it.
Swamiji,
yes.
This in the Shadangas, did you do Kalpa?
No, we have studied only these 2. That's why I have shown 2 only.
Ah, okay.
But Nirukta, you know, they say is a Nigantu. Little bit I study because I love.
No, exactly what you mean by etymology.
Suppose I say Ramaha. This is simple. But what is the Niruktam? Nishchayena Uktam. Ramante Asmin Munayaha. It's called Ramaha. In which Munis all sages revels. It's called Rama.
Okay.
So that, suppose Nigama, this is the name, Nishchayena Gamayati, who make you rich, definitely it's called Nigam. Each and every name we can do like that. It's called Niruktam. Yes, Anita ji?
Swamiji, actually, I wanted to ask difference between then shloka and mantra. Can you tell me? Maybe?
Mantra all has swaram, you know. Om Sahana Bhavatu. We are what we are saying. It's called mantra. They have swaram. Udata, Anudata. All have swara. That we can study sometime. While shloka, they don't have any swara. Mantra we can chant only. Shloka we can sing also. But we have no right to sing any mantra. So nowadays this Gayatri they are singing. Actually it is not correct. But all Gayatri Parivar, Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha, they keep on singing.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the difference. Yeah.
Then what we are studying in Bhagavad Gita, these are all shloka.
They all are shlokas. Yeah. Mantra are available only in Vedas. It's called mantra.
Then Bhagavad Gita or Paurushaya.
No, Bhagavad Gita is written by Vedavyasa. While Upanishad are considered as Apaurusha. It is not written by any human being.
Okay.
That's
so Swami, the Vedas, like the Prasthanatraya pertains to Vedanta study,
Yeah,
right? They consist of Samhitas, Aranyakas, Brahmanas, and
nothing.
Upanishads. It's so
No.
vast, right?
No, it's very vast. Whole life will go.
Yeah. So, I mean, and so the Auparushayam applies to all the Vedas then.
All Vedas, all from Purva Bhaga and Uttar Bhaga, everything.
Uttarmimamsa, Purvamimamsa, everything. Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
So, so you said there were 1,008 Upanishads at one time, and then currently there's 127, but still Bhashyakara or Shankaracharya, Swami, Bhagavan Swami Shankaracharya refers to only 10.
Yeah.
Is it because they are important, they cover everything, or is that?
It is because Veda Vyasa has selected in Brahma Sutra, they have discussed all mantra from this 10 Upanishad only. That's why Shankaracharya has chosen these 10 Upanishads.
So he wrote Bhashyam for all the
10 Upanishads.
10. Yeah.
Swamiji, Rudram Chamakam is also under Vedas, right? Like, so under
Krishna-
which
Yeah.
Krishna Yajurveda
category it
is also,
comes?
in all 4 Vedas, Rudram is available. Little bit change. In Krishna Yajurveda also, Rudram is there. While here also, in Shukla Yajurveda, they chant totally different. Yeah.
Oh. So whatever the regular Rudram Chamakam we chant, it comes under which
Krishna
category?
Yajurveda. Krishna Yajurveda.
Yajur. Okay, Krishna Yajur.
Swamiji, so this kalpa is not covered in the study of Vedanta. The
Need
teaching
not to,
is-
need not to. If somebody says Putra Kameshti, so all details of Putra Kameshti, Ashwamegh, whatever big yagas, it gives us in detail in Kalpa. Karini Yaga, so how that rain comes, all have mentioned. Yeah.
Okay, and Swamiji, one technical question. You talked about Adhyaropa Apavada. Apavada is negating. Adhyaropa, what's the
Superimpose something.
So, but still in the Vedanta studies, Swamiji, sometimes we refer to the Samhita portions and all that.
There comes, yeah.
Even though it's Purva Bhaga.
Sometimes only very little portion comes. And they have discussed a lot, then why they have taken this Samhita, Brahmana Vibhaga, sometime Aranyak Vibhaga. They discuss also. Even Ishavasya Upanishad, this starts from above this mantra or in Upasana. We cannot consider it Upasana here. There is big discussion comes there.
That's
So
why.
what about? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
What about the suktams we chant, like the Sri Suktam, Purusha Suktam, and all those things?
In
Comes under-
Aranyakam. Sometime I will
Aranyaka.
show also, it will come under Aranyakam. So there are also 4 portions of Veda. Brahmana portion, Aranyaka portion, Vedanta portion. This is Samhita portion.
That's why in Bhagavan Shankaracharya in Bhajagovindam says, don't try to, Dukarin Karane, you'll end up with Dukarin Karane.
Yeah.
You keep on studying, then you only study it as like a physics or something, whereas the purpose of studying is lost.
Yeah.
But still one has to know to carry it to the next generation
Yeah.
as to how all this organized and what's Purva Bhaga, what's Uttar Mimamsa, what is Purva Mimamsa and all that. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Swamiji?
And then, sorry, Miraji, last time, and I will definitely shut up.
Okay.
So this Vyakaran is very important then in terms of knowing,
If
both
you
the
would
grammar
like
and
to
the
keep
language.
This, we would like to keep this all shlokas or mantras for us. We need not to depend on anything. Then we have to study Vyakaran. Other than we have to depend. Because when I start to learn this Gita, so whatever Viditatmananji Swamiji says, I have to accept what Swamiji says in this shloka, this is the meaning of this. We have to accept. But when we know this grammar, so it can be ours. You know, we should not depend anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, so you know this from the source language itself, without any doubt. I mean, that takes a lot of time to invest. So last question, and the chanting should cover what all? It should cover all the Upanishads? I mean, we are supposed to remember all the Upanishads if one is serious. Is that correct?
Need not to necessary to memorize, you know, but we should know from where this word has come, why they are using. Little bit, if you keep on chanting daily, you know, what used to happen in our long-term course, Pujya Swamiji used to come little bit late in Brahma Sutra because many visitors always would be there. So we have to complete that all Taittiriya, all Upanishads, that chanting Amma, then little bit also Ishavasya. Then we are familiar to these all words. Then Swamiji quotes sometime, you know, then it is very easy to understand. Only for that purpose. We not to become a teacher or master to show someone that we know everything. But
Yeah, correct.
that's
But actually, people like Pujya Swamiji are seen, you know, who have taken a long time to study, they know the scriptures by heart.
Yeah. Nowadays,
mostly by-
Paramarthanandji knows everything by heart. Omkaranandji knows. Even say that Taranandji, memorize whole Mahabharatam, all Panchadashi, everything. Even he knows in which book, in which page, in which place also this word will come. That much Taranandji, Pujya Swamiji's Guruji.
Sorry, Meeraji, I'm done. Thank you.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
I just late today. I have one question. So you were saying about Upanishads being a Paurushaya, and once somebody asked me this. We also say that you cannot get Atmajnanam by yourself using your own pramanams. Like Shastra is the only pramanam which reveals about Atman. And at the same time, we said Upanishads are Aparushaya. Then, the rishis, through their meditation, the knowledge was revealed to them. So then how, like both these two statements, then how to answer that?
The meaning of Aparushaya means which is not written by any human being. But still, mantras are available, no, in words form. These words are means of knowledge. These words, suppose, Tattvamasi Shetaketo, these are the words. These words, when a sadhan chatushraya sampanna, if some person is there, when you understand this, then that one click happens in one's mind. Click, we say understood. This click is called Atmajnanam, self-knowledge. But without, if this mantra won't be there, then how can it possible? So Guru is teaching this word, unfolding each and every. It will take a long time, but it is revealing each and every word. Then if somebody is adhikari eligible like that, it can understand. That's why it's helpful. In spite of Aparushaya, but is using by one person, no? Any Guru is teaching. But Guru is only unfolding that words. It's not made by, it's not written by that Gurus.
Yes, Swami. But the question was like the first rishis who came across the knowledge, or the knowledge was revealed to them. Then how they didn't have a guru exactly in that sense, or was Ishvara their guru? Is that how it is supposed to be?
Yeah, suppose Sanakadi was there, all Sanakadi Munis. They have studied with Dakshinamurti, who are sitting in the feet of Dakshinamurti. They are Sanakadi, but they have Lord as a teacher.
Yeah. So finally, a teacher is necessary.
Teacher is necessary. Teacher is necessary. Only even one time, Sometimes I say it's not necessary you have to do always 3 years course or long-term course. It's not necessary. If person is ready, is a 100% sadhan chatushtaya sampanna, adhikari, even one sentence is good enough. Suppose Tyagaraja, he has not gone for any type of this long-term course, but he was love Rama. If that Tyagaraja has listened some one sentence of Upanishad like Tattvamasi, he can understand.
Swami, but when we talk of the Saptarishis, uh, we say mantra drashtas. So which means they received it in deep meditation. So it's like when you're tuned to the universe, whatever, you're completely aligned. That's how I would think that they received the mantras. This is what we say, right? Mantra. So when you say apaurushayam and the rishis have it, yes, it is from the Lord, but it's not by teaching, but it's given. Like everything else is given in the universe. The mantras supposed to have been born with the universe. So the mantras are there for you to receive.
Yeah.
If now you become a rishi, you can receive it.
Even right now also we can receive if you are prepared.
Very difficult in Kali Yuga, but I'm saying, hypothetically.
He was asked once that the rishis didn't have any teacher as such like that. So
But you
then
know,
can meditate like a rishi and get the jnanam like that without a teacher.
Yeah.
but
If I do it,
I think it is not necessary. Each and every Rishi has Gnanam also. They have seen all mantras. They start chanting also. Then some Rishi has become another. They have some good among these Rishis. Some make good also. They can teach the meaning of like that also. We don't know. Each and every Rishi, they who has seen these mantras, they all have self-knowledge. It's not necessary.
That's an important point. Like they might have been blessed to be revealed, but they may or may not have understood.
Yeah. They can ask also other rishis. I have seen this. Then what would be the meaning?
yeah.
And this is why that's why this is not some exotic thing where just because the material is
really
ancient.
Mystic, this is not mystic, really speaking.
Yeah, we all have the same opportunity right now to understand the same exact thing because it is, it's beyond time. It's not like it's just because the culture was there before and they had the opportunity. We have the opportunity right now to understand, and we are blessed to be with, people like, teachers like you, Swaminiji. So that's the blessing of this parampara.
Swaminiji, actually, this answers one more question that was there, that some of the rishis, like, in the stories and all, they're shown to be so angry and so short-tempered and some irrational things they do sometimes. Yeah, and I think this answers that also.
Yeah.
No, sometimes some rishi became angry. I think there is in angerness also, there may be some blessing. We don't know. Like father or mother, they're angry with us, but they are angry because of some reason. No? They would like to teach us, you behave like this. Same way also. Each and every, we don't know why they have become angry. What is the reason behind its angriness? Something would be there also. Suppose Shakuntala was cursed by that Durvasa, I think only, no? Okay, your husband will forget you. Eh? Because of Bharata only. That's why Bharat has born. Because he was, and that's why the name of this whole Rashtra becomes Bharata. He was so powerful. If he was brought up with only kingdom, they would not be that much bright. Maybe something, no? We don't know. I said we don't know why they are angry. Always, Durvasa is always angry. I don't know.
If you really understand the prayer that we chant at the beginning of the class, Evam eva tvaya karyam, then there is no question left. You have to accept it comes.
Yeah.
But that's what we can't do when we go through the day.
Anything else?
So thank you, Swamiji. This is we seek your blessings on Vijayadashmi Day.
So yeah, all the best to all of you.
Thank you.
Yes, Swamiji.
Pranam Swamiji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shall we do Purnamada, no?
Yeah.
Om
Om Purnamada
Purnamada
Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari
Hari Om Shri Guruvyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Swamiji.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, Swaminiji.
all the best. Okay, yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
for this life also, spiritual path also.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.